What is up, Star Seeds? It's Sid, and I know I haven't been on YouTube in like 2 months, but there was lots of stuff going on. I redid my room, got new carpet, painted my walls, put up some artwork on my walls, so I thought for sure my first video coming back after like 2 months would be in my like new and improved room. But no, we're down here in my kitchen looking out my kitchen window because we have a dream video. 2 dreams actually in one video because they kind of go hand in hand, and I had them like 4 days apart. So this first dream we're going to be talking about is the dolphin dream, and I wrote it down like the morning when I woke up. The morning when I woke up was January 13th. And then the second dream we're going to be talking about, kind of like a weird follow-up that seems totally not similar to that dream at all, besides the fact that the opening scene in the dream was looking out this window. And I had that dream not last night, but the night before. So when I woke up on January 17th. So all 2024. Anyway, so I wanted to get that disclaimer out of the way. I have a few other dream videos on my channel. I have a playlist called like Sleep and Dreams, and I talk about like scientific stuff involving sleep in like my earlier days of YouTube. And then more recently I have like some apocalyptic type dreams, warning dreams. And these dreams that I had were kind of similar just because I knew while having them, I knew the significance of them. And that's just how I know that they were important, because a lot of the times I will have dreams, and like I had dreams in between these 2 dreams that were, I remembered and I wrote down, but they weren't anything major. There was some weird symbolism going on and like events with people in my life and these weird scenes going on in the dreams in between these dreams even, and before and after, of course. Like I had like a regular dream last night. And by regular, I mean weird, but not like important, But I knew while having these dreams that like, holy crap, like this is really significant. So we're going to start off with the dolphin dream. This was, honestly, maybe one of the best dreams I've ever had. Like, it was so amazing. It felt so real. So let's just get into it. And it's interesting that I say it was like one of my favorite dreams, because like even while this dolphin dream was going on, I really thought like there's like an earth catastrophe, like civilization as we know it is ended. Like I don't know how I'm gonna eat anything, like work, job, school, like doesn't freaking matter. Like the world is freaking ending, but there's a dolphin outside my window, so it's okay. So it's weird because it's winter right now in Michigan, but these dreams took place really in the spring. Like I want to say summer because it was warm, but honestly it was more like the spring. So there was like green leaves on the tree. In this dream I couldn't really see much of the grass. I could at one point, but so I had like just this is the dream now. In the dream I had just woken up and I came downstairs. I got that feeling. But so I'm just like standing right here and I look out this big window and I see water, like, and this is like elevated, like this isn't ground level. This is maybe like 4 feet above ground level, like on this floor. And the water was maybe 2 feet above that. So there's like 6 feet of water. So like at that level, you couldn't have a yacht, but you couldn't drive a car either. Like you had to be in like a little boat if you wanted to travel out there. So I see this like water, like there's a flood. And I'm like, oh my gosh. But I see immediately like a dolphin swimming, like literally right there, like right up on these steps by my patio, coming right up to me, so friendly. And I was like, oh my gosh, a dolphin. And then there's like a few more that I see too swimming around and coming closer, and they're kind of taking turns like passing by, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And so I obviously there's a flood, like what the heck, right? But there's dolphins, so it doesn't freaking matter. And I was just so thrilled. And so then the water level, and it does it really quickly too. It's not like gradual, like, ooh, like the water's rising. It was just like boom, boom, like very, very fast, very quick. The water level rises. My neighbor has a tree, and like the reason why I know it was like spring summer is because it had green leaves on it, clear as day, and I could see that. But so the water level rises almost to the top of their tree. So it's like the houses, like my house, my neighbor's house, we both have upstairs too. Upstairs is my grammar. But like the water level, like our attic wasn't like completely submerged, but like our upstairs was. You know what I'm saying? So it was, I don't even know how high that is. Like, you know, I guess 2 stories of water. Like, you know, the whole neighborhood at least, and probably like all of Michigan, maybe all of the US, were like underwater. Somehow water isn't seeping into the house though. And if that happened, I probably would. But so there's no water seeping in. It's just all outside, and the water level rises. And so then it's much easier for these dolphins to like come like face level. I'm sorry, I keep turning around and looking, but it's just so weird. Like the morning after I had this dream, I came downstairs and I was like, oh, snow, like lovely. Like I'm like, wish there was dolphins. But so it was easy for these dolphins to come like face to face with me. There's just like an inch of glass apart from us, and it was just like so beautiful, you guys. And because dolphins, you guys know, dolphins are so smart. They use more of their brains than we do, like the connection to Sirius, and they're just like the smartest animals, way smarter than us currently, in my opinion. But so the dolphins are coming up, and then I see penguins coming too, and there's like a fleet of penguins, like way more penguins than dolphins, but dolphins like are larger, they take up more space, so it looked like an equal amount if you're just looking at the space they took up, if you know what I mean. So it just looked so cool, these penguins and these dolphins, and they're swimming up. And so then the water level like drops again, and like some of the penguins go away, but there's still a few. And then it like rises again and drops again a couple times. I didn't count how many times, I don't remember, but it happened a handful of times. And one of the times where the water level was kind of dropped more, so it was just like a foot or two like taller than this doorway, but like 6 feet if you're counting from ground level. So I really want to go out and swim with them. I've been wanting to go out and swim with them like as soon as I first saw them. But the thing is, it feels like my son is upstairs sleeping still. Like it feels like my mom is upstairs getting ready for the day still. And it like the water level is like unstable, you know what I mean? So I'm like, am I gonna get like pulled away in a riptide? Like what's gonna go on if I open this door? How much water is gonna come in the house if I open this door? But I really want to go swim with them. And so I open the door a little bit just to see like how much water is really going to come in if I open it for like a second. You know what I mean? So because this one penguin really wants to come in. So I give him a little pat on the head and I say, okay, you're going to stay out there. I just wanted to see how much water was going to come in. I'm going to swim with you guys in a little bit. I just need to like let somebody know so I don't go missing or something. And so that penguin goes back outside. There's some water on the floor now, not a ton. Would have expected there to be more, but you know, I opened the door quick and I closed it pretty quick. And so I'm taking pictures on my phone now. I'm taking pictures of these dolphins and penguins. My mom loves penguins. Who doesn't love dolphins, right? So I'm taking these cool pictures because like I want to show people because this is amazing. And oh yeah, before I took pictures, I tried to call my mom, like didn't work. Tried to call my dad, didn't work. Tried to call my brother, didn't work. Because immediately I was like, there's freaking dolphins outside. Like, come look at this, people. But so like the phone lines are down. I didn't even try to go on social media because I was like, it's gonna be down. Like, what's the point? So that's why I started taking pictures because like couldn't communicate with anyone via phone call. And I wasn't ready to go upstairs because I was still just enjoying this. Like, if the phones don't work, I'll take pictures so you can see. But so took some pictures and then I put my phone away just so I could enjoy them. Like this was a fairly lengthy dream. It felt like I was admiring these dolphins for like, I don't know, a good 20 minutes probably. And it was just amazing. And so then finally, after the water level has like risen and fallen a few times and I get some good time admiring these dolphins, and I'm to the point where it's like, I need to like go swim with them now. Like I'm ready now. and like I'm not gonna waste any more time just looking at them. I want to go out there and I really want to swim with them. But so then my mom comes downstairs, and immediately like all of that goes away. And so I'm like, hey mom, and I'm like, oh my god, it's gone. How is that possible? And she's like, what? Like it was just a regular morning. Like when she was getting ready, she was checking Facebook probably. Like it was a regular morning for her. And then I realized the water on the floor is gone. It's green grass outside. There's no water outside. No sign of a flood. Definitely no dolphins or penguins out there. And I'm like, I don't even bother checking my phone because I know the pictures aren't going to be there for some reason. So I'm like, well, there was a freaking flood and there was dolphins and penguins outside. And she's like, dolphins and penguins in Michigan. Nice one. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, I really saw it. Like it was a dream maybe? No, it wasn't a dream. Was it like because I was awake and it was real and it happened, so it wasn't a dream? I'm like, it was a trance. It was a vision. That's what it was. It was like a vision of dolphins and penguins and a flood. And she was like, oh, okay, honey. Like, that's cool, I guess. And then I look out more of this like side type window, and there's like not a huge flood, but there's a little bit of water, and there's otters, like a group of otters. And I'm like, oh my gosh, there's otters. Do you see them? And she's like, no, I don't see anything. I'm like, you don't see the otters? Right freaking there. No. She's like, are you hallucinating? And I'm like, no, yes, I don't know. Like, what? And that was pretty much the end of that dream. And then I had a more normal type dream after that, the same night. A couple nights pass, I have more kind of normal type weird dreams. And then I was like gonna make a YouTube video just about that dolphin dream because, well, let's talk about the symbology of it, because I love interpreting dreams, and yes, anyone can interpret any other person's dreams, but the thing is, the person who had the dream is the only one who can interpret it like accurately for them, because they know what each of those things in the dream mean for them. Because someone who like heard me say that, and even when I told my mom, you know, like we went to Florida like a month ago and now I have a dream about a dolphin, like, okay, sure, that might have played a role in my like subconscious mind. Okay, fair enough. But the thing is about the dream, like the important part of it, like the feeling of it, was that there's a disaster. I have had repeating dreams of phones not working, light switches not turning on. It was the morning, so there was no need for me to turn on a light switch because the sun was out. So I didn't check that in the dream, but like the phones and social media were down in the dream. The same thing that happens in my apocalyptic type dreams, even though I've never had dolphins appear in those dreams before. But the thing is like, even though there was a disaster, it was still like peace on earth at the same time. None of that mattered. Like, and I don't know as time went on, maybe I would be hungry, maybe I would be searching for canned food to eat, but at that time I wasn't hungry and there was dolphins outside. Like, that's all I knew in that dream. That's all that, I don't want to say that's all that mattered, because I did have that, well, I can't go outside now because I feel like my kid's asleep upstairs. But the thing was, I was so at peace and blissful, and I wasn't worrying about jobs or money or anything like that, or the house getting damaged. I knew it was inevitable. Like, yeah, I didn't want a ton of water to get on the floor right away, but I just had this feeling that the house was going to be underwater soon, but we would be living with the dolphins and in peace, so it would be okay. I'm not saying like that's going to happen in the future. I don't think that, but it's the symbology of it. The water level being low and then being high, I really feel like that was like an expression of my vibration, because it was, I mean, fairly high at first when I saw it, and then I was like so happy and it rose, and then like when like more penguins started coming closer, I was just kind of like, oh my gosh, that's like silly, and then it like lowered, and then it kind of rose again and lowered again, and it kind of felt like my vibration. And then, like, not to say my mom's not a high vibe individual, but she just, you know, in this particular dream and just kind of throughout history, like, she supports me and she listens to what I have to say, but she doesn't believe it to the full extent that I do a lot of the times, and that's totally fine. But when she came down the stairs, boom, it's gone, right? So that was like, if you're not ready to perceive that type stuff, then it's not there. But it was just that was the symbology of it. It made total sense to me when I had the dream, and I think you guys catch the drift of me explaining it. But I knew right after I had that dream, I even kind of knew during the dream that like it was important and I wanted to share it. And so I planned on filming this video just about this, but then not last night, but 2 nights ago, I had this other dream, and it was so funny to me because even in the dream, I was kind of shocked. It was like, so let's just get into the second dream that we're going to talk about. So starts off, same thing. First thing in the morning, somehow my kid's still asleep, which doesn't freaking happen in real life very often. Usually he's the one waking me up. But anyways, so I'm down here, look out the window. Once again, it's like spring, summertime, emphasis on the spring. And I can see the green leaves on that tree. I can see green grass now because there's no cetaceans in this dream. There's no flood. But so there's an opening, like kind of like an eye, like how there's like an eye hood, like an eye or a vagina or like a mouth or something. Like it's an opening kind of like that, that shape, you know, that like ovalish type shape or like a semi-oval type shape, opening in like the ground and in the grass. And in this little opening, like the shape of an eye type opening, but like larger, like the size of like a school bus, but like in the shape of an eye. Okay, so we get that. There's like this underground, like in the dream, I like kind of felt like it was like, I want to use the word tunnel, but it was like this underground, like tunnel facility. Like you could tell there was lots of stuff under it. And I mean, interesting thing, I did have a dream about like some big underground like thing with like stores, like massage parlors and like barber shops and stuff and like restaurants and this underground thing. And there was like locker rooms with like showers and stuff for the workers to take shower. But so it kind of reminded me of that. I didn't go in this underground thing in this dream. This is just like a small opening scene in this dream, is like looking outside and seeing just an opening, like this portal, this like passageway to this underground place that felt like government operated, like weird hush hush type stuff. But so I saw that outside my window and I was like, oh shit, like. And so then my mom comes downstairs and like right away basically, and she sees this too. And then it's clear that she sees it. I was like, you see that? She's like, she just went upstairs. Like, she didn't want to talk about it. She like came downstairs, saw it, looked shocked, went upstairs, and we didn't have a conversation about it. And so I like go follow her upstairs, and she, after like a minute, I just kind of paused for a minute, like, okay, she sees this too. And then I had this thought of like, holy crap, this is another like look out the window type dream, which I've never had before. And I was like, so this is important. And so I was like, but that's cool that she sees this. She didn't see the otters, but she sees this. And so I go upstairs to her room. For some reason, she's folding laundry in her room, which she never does, but she's like folding laundry. And so I was like, hang on, we need to talk about this. And she's like, no, Sydney, like we can't tell anybody this. And then I was like, no, that's what I wanted to talk to you about this. I was going to say, like, we can't tell anybody. And I said, you can't text anybody on your phone. You can't, like, Google any of this. Like, nothing on your phone. Like, we shouldn't even say what this is because their phones are listening. But I was, like, glad we're on the same page about that. And she kind of looked, like, relieved and proud that, like, I had that same thought. And I didn't want to, like, tell the world about it, even though, like, I'm telling the world about the dream. But in the dream, we didn't tell anybody. That was the important part. But so, because like there's like some weird portal type thing in our backyard, like don't want anybody to know. And so we're like, okay, we're on the same page, we're not going to tell anybody. Cool. And then she's like walking, as we're kind of talking, she walks into a different bedroom to put this one blanket away. And we go into the room, and it's the room that is my son's room now. But in the dream, and I don't even realize it for a second, it's what it used to look like years ago, like the old guest bedroom. And like where my grandma used to sleep when she came over. And so it looks exactly like that. The same bed, the same like comforter, the same everything in that room. And it took me a minute because I was used to that before, because that's exactly what it used to look like years ago. But so after she sets this blanket down on the bed, then I'm like, oh my gosh, where is my son's room? Why is it the guest bedroom? What? And she's like, yeah, I know. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we have to go see what my brother's room looks like and what my room looks like. Is my son's room like inside of my room, or do we share a room now? Like, we have to look at what your room looks like, Mom. Like, we need to see the other rooms. Like, what the heck is going on? And so when we walk back into the hallway to like go look at the other rooms, the scene shifts, and then my son is awake and he's with us now, and we're in this barn type thing. In like, my brother's room is first, like kind of when we walk in. I mean, I guess we're kind of already in. It's not like we walked in. We were just kind of plopped there. But so in this first part, there's my brother's room like on display. And then there's my mom's room and mine and my son's room on display too. And when I say on display, I mean like there's like long folding tables and a few bookshelves of just like the trinkets that were in our room. Like, there's no bed, there's no closet. It's just these like knickknacks and stuff that would be on shelves and stuff and on nightstands were on these tables like displayed for some reason. No one else was in the building, no one else was around, me, my mom, and my son. So we're looking at my brother's room first because boom, it's right there. And there's all of this red, white, and blue like full-blown American stuff going on, and I was like, ew. Like, I used to be that like, oh yeah, American, red, white, and blue, 4th of July. But that was just like when I was a kid, because that's like how I was programmed. Like, obviously 4th of July was one of my favorite holidays when I was a kid because it's like the major holiday in the summer, and there would be like a neighborhood get together, barbecue, and me and my best friends would play. Like, it was a cool holiday. So like, why would I not like it? But now I'm like, ew, like, don't need to be wearing all this American flag type stuff. Like, I don't understand why there's imaginary lines drawn for countries. I just want world peace. I'm a hippie. But anyways, so in this dream, it's full-blown red, white, and blue, like everywhere. And the tablecloths are red, white, and blue with all of these weird trinkets and stuff on it. So I just somehow knew, like, in this reality, my brother's in college. He just went back for like this semester. He's away at college. But I knew in this reality, he was away in the military. Like, I just knew. And so, and like, we were all the same age, but it was just totally different timeline, reality type situation going on. So we were looking at the rooms in this reality that was happening, that we were visiting for some reason. So I asked my mom, I was like, do you want your kid to be fighting in a war? And she's like, no. And I was like, okay, so let's break something. So maybe that will change the timeline. So I look, and I just kind of knew, like, there's nothing like this that we have in this reality, but I knew that there was this like glass or like porcelain, probably teddy bear looking thing that was like all red, white, and blue American flag threw up on it, like this porcelain teddy bear. And I just like chuck it at the ground and it shatters. And then I see my mom grab another one, and there was like kind of sentimental value in that reality to it, which is so weird. But I had known that my brother had that like his whole life in that reality. But it was like, we don't want him to be away fighting at war, we're gonna break it. So my mom grabs a similar looking one and starts like kind of like hitting it on this bookshelf that's nearby, kind of chipping away at it. And we could feel the energy of the room shift, because we had altered something by breaking those things. And so then we were randomly like, okay, let's go see what your room and my room looks like. And I don't remember much about my mom's room or my room. Like, I just remember pictures of me and my mom that like didn't happen in this life or reality, but it happened in that reality. And so there's these pictures with like people I don't know. And one of them stood out because my mom and I both had dyed blonde hair, but I was like 7 or 8 years old in the picture, and my mom's hair was like extra curly. So it was just like, it just looked funny. And so, and it was with like, I don't know, Girl Scouts or something, but not the Girl Scouts in this reality, like different ones. So I don't know. But I was just kind of joking, and I was like, this is the first thing we should break in our room. Like, and as soon as I said that, like, I don't know if it was because I said that or if it was just like a delay effect kind of, but the energy shifted again, and we just all kind of got the feeling that we weren't really welcome to be in that barn with our rooms on display anymore. Like, we had already picked the thing that we broke, and that was, the porcelain teddy bear in my brother's room. And it was like, we could maybe come back again later and break something else, but like right now we had already picked our thing that we wanted to break, and we couldn't even look at our rooms anymore. We just knew that we should get out of the barn. That was just kind of the feeling. And so we walk out of the barn, lo and behold, who's waiting for us? My brother. He's back for more. And so we just kind of stay put for a minute and just kind of take in our surroundings, because what the heck, we got thrown into this other like reality. But so my brother was already caught up like to speed. He already knew what was going on somehow, just instantly. And so we're kind of looking around, scoping it out. We see these like patrolmen, like police officers. Most of them are on these like go-kart type things, because there's not really any cars on the road. If people are on the road, it's more so in these little cart type things, like go-kart things, like lower to the ground, open, not like enclosed cars, okay? And then some are on motorcycles, like all these police officers, and some are walking, and they all kind of look the same. I think that's like the Matrix movie, but like they all kind of look the same. They're all these like white guys with like dark features, like weird. And so this barn is like located kind of on like a hill. So we kind of walk down the hill, and it leads to this river, and there's these police officer dudes in boats on this river too. And I'm like, oh my freaking God, like we're in this controlling society. And so we're like, let's avoid the river apparently, and we'll go back up the hill and see what this neighborhood behind the barn is like. And as we're kind of walking back up this hill, we see a group of people that look like nice, genuine, average people. They're like husbands and wives, and there's like people who look like their aunts and uncles, and like there's like teenagers and like older kids, and they're all in these tubes. They look kind of like they're like just ready to like be captured, like they're ready to like kind of die a good death type thing. Like they're just like ready to do it. And I'm like, I don't exactly know what it is, but they're in these tubes. Like if you're going on a water slide, they're at like not the top of this hill, but like near the top. Like they're kind of gonna walk down a bit further, and then they're all gonna slide down the rest of the hill and into the river on their tubes. And they know that those police officers are probably gonna snatch up a few of them, if not all of them. They know some of them might die in the process, but it's like there was this feeling, this look on their faces that like they don't want to be controlled and like kind of be confined to their houses any longer. Like we got the feeling that they came from the neighborhood that was behind the barn, and like a regular like suburban type neighborhood. And so they were just gonna like go in the river. Maybe the next town over was like less controlling or something, but I think they were trying to escape type thing, and they knew that they did not have good chances at all, but they were just gonna do it because then they would have a chance for happiness, because they're the type of people that looked like they wanted to like cook out, like have a grill out, like listen to cool music and just like have fun. But they weren't really allowed to do that for some reason here. Like they weren't happy here, they weren't really living, and they wanted the shot to really live. So we were like, okay, we're gonna avoid that too. We're just gonna walk to the neighborhood. And so we're like snooping, like sneaking, like behind this house, run, behind this house, run, behind this house. And we're going house by house, scoping it out, and then running like in the movies. And so we're doing that, and then we get to this house, like on the street. All these houses look pretty normal, like, modern, whatever, paint job. They feel like abandoned. They don't like look run down or anything, but they feel vacant, like the people like aren't living in them anymore. But so we get to this one house, and it says 22 Jump Street on it, and like JJ on the bottom, I think, underneath like 22 Jump Street, and then like JJ for some reason. And it was weird because there's all these normal looking houses, and then there's this one, I feel like it was orange, and then 22 Jump Street was written on it in like white paint. So we're like, okay, let's go see what this is about. And this is like near the end of the dream, and it gets weird, and I don't quite understand this part. But so there was this dad, and he had a kid, and his kid was like I mean, about the same age as my son, kind of, but different kid. And so he was like, I'm in trouble, like, they're gonna get me, and they're probably coming, like, right now for me. And we got the feeling that this house, it was like a center for a lot of people. And we got the feeling that, like, even the people who were escaping were probably a part of this 22 Jump Street project or whatever. And a lot of people on the street were, not all of them, but a lot of them. And so he was like fighting for a good cause type thing, and this whole group of people were. And but he was maybe like a leader or someone who was like up there in like participation and stuff. Like he did a lot of good things, or at least he was like trying to, but you know, they were onto him or whatever, so they were gonna like come catch him type stuff. And we were like, well, we'll try to like watch your kid, but like we're not from this reality, obviously. And by the way, like I got the feeling in the dream that like we weren't wanted, but we weren't not wanted, you know? Like it wasn't like they were after just like the four of us. It was like, I don't even think they really knew about us, but if they saw us, they would like take us in or whatever. They would be suspicious. But all those policemen and patrol guys weren't patrolling just for the four of us. They were just patrolling like that all the time, regardless of like if we were in that reality or not, just so that's clear. But so we were like, we'll try to watch your kid or whatever. And so then the police officers start coming like right away. And so then we got the feeling that like this is happening way too quick. There's no way we're gonna be able to make it out like without not getting snatched up. So we come up with this plan. Like my family and I hid really well, like kind of around the back of the house, and then we hid his kid just sort of well, because we knew like we kind of have to let them have the kid because they already know about him. So like they kind of need to take him, but we knew that we would have a really good shot of rescuing him later, like the next day or something like that. Like we knew that we could get him back if they don't know about us. But if they do know about us, then we have like no shot of doing that. Like we would all get captured. So we were like, let them take like the bait type stuff, and then we're gonna rescue him later. And that was like how the dream ended, which is like a super weird way to end it. And I debated including that part, but that is just what happened in the dream, so why not? But yeah, I didn't think this was gonna be too long, but I mean, explaining those dreams is kind of a long process because there's quite a bit that happened, especially in the second one, and maybe to be continued, I don't know. But I just wanted to share that because in this second dream, it's like I don't know fully all of like the meaning behind it quite yet, and maybe there's not, but it felt very important again because like there was that opening in the ground. And then also it reminded me of this other dream that I had about this like underground place. But this underground place felt different than the other one that I had a dream about. The one I had a dream about probably a couple months ago, which I haven't shared on YouTube because I didn't really think it was super significant, but it was like a privately owned underground facility. But this one felt government run. I don't know what was inside that underground thing because like I said, we didn't go in it. We just kind of got instantly like teleported to those scenes. But or I guess that one scene that was the alternate reality. We got teleported to the barn and then we kind of walked around. But yeah, I just want to share that because I thought it was interesting, especially the dolphin one, because the meaning behind that one was really beautiful. I feel like the low water level, high water level was like kind of in relation to like my vibration, but also the vibration like around in general. And I just feel like even if there is chaotic stuff happening, like we got to see the beauty in it and we got to see the excitement in it and we got to really fully step into it. Because I really wished I went and swam with them. I really do. That would have been way cooler than just standing there and taking pictures. So, yeah. Hope you guys found that interesting. And I'm going to be posting a video soon. I've got some catch up to do. I know I have like 10 or 11 weeks of catch up to do. I'm going to be doing my 5th Q&A pretty soon for episode 250. And then I'm pretty sure episode 251, I'm going to be explaining about my astrology course that I'm going to be teaching starting in March, like March 20th or 21st. I got to check. But on like the equinox. So I'm really excited for that. And thank you guys so much for watching and lots of love to you. Peace out.